Yum, 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 yum. This tea is nice and hot. Before I get started, let me first make sure that this audio is working and the mic is on. Last time, for some reason, the audio was being interrupted. So let me. I am good to go before I jump into anything. All right. Yes, I'm good. I'm green. Awesome. How's it going? Happy Tuesday, y'all. Happy Tuesday. Man, I had to come out here and just show my face for a little bit. Especially today is that ram energy, right? That fire energy, that rebel energy, that warrior energy, right? Man, woo! Tuesday, baby. That's that Mars energy too, right? The day of action. Okay? Even though we're almost done with this day. You get what I'm saying? But it's good to be present, to be on here and say what's up. So Spirit, man. Spirit just don't keep or not. They're gonna just keep you up and just get all this information running to you. It's like, oh man. So is this what I need to talk about? Looks like my connection's been interrupted. You know what I'm saying? So is this what I need to talk about? Okay. So here I am trying to sleep and I'm like, all this stuff is just coming into my head, right? I literally have a freaking lecture going on in my damn brain. And I'm like, paper and pen and do all this other stuff. So it's up here, right? So I'm like, okay. I know I did do a post about it earlier in Facebook, but I was like, nah, I need to talk about it, put it out there, put the message out there. So here we are. So let's talk about it. So as I've been saying many times, how you're connected, I say that you don't have to follow the sun. The sun is always within. So we have that solar system within ourselves. How the colors of the sun represent our chakras. Okay, the colors of the sun represent the chakras, and the chakras, the colors of the sun, those that signify the chakras, are mainly your sacral and the solar, and the red, which is the roots, right? So although they say in space the sun is white color, it's a white color. It's not the color in space. It's white. But let me tell you something about the white. White has seven colors. Okay? Seven colors. White light has seven colors. And those seven colors are also your seven chakras. So would make sense, right? That the sun is white. Because what is the white? Look at my white shirt. What does it signify? It signifies purity. It cleans, right? If you think about the sun, what does it do? Especially when we have hot weather, we have summer, spring weather. The sun pretty much like what was the sun doing to the COVID, to the virus? It was killing the virus. The virus wasn't active in summer weather or in spring weather. It's more active in the winter because the simple fact that the sun is not as is not out as it should be, right? Because it's a change of weather. We go through this. We go through the, like, especially here in Chicago. We go through the cycles of the season, right? We go through the four cycles of the season. So going back to the sun, how the sun is connected. The sun is connection to Ra, to the ancient god Ra, the sun god, and to the ancient god Tahuti. Okay, so when we look at these colors and we think about the sacral and the solar, and let's not forget the roots. Okay, um, you think about, okay, the energies of these chakra, these force power chakras, right? How they're connected to you and to the sun through the colors, the vibrate colors, the energies, right? So your sexual energy. Remember, your sexual energy also raises your kundalini. It also raises your kundalini. So what happens when you get sexual arousal when you're having intercourse with someone? It raises that kundalini and it goes up to your mind's eye, right? So you hold the thought. This is why they talk about thought magic or sex magic, right? Because you hold on to that thought and it goes up here, so it traps right into your mind's eye, and you're able to visualize what you're manifesting during intercourse. Put it like this, like I said many times, you are a walking star, right? Made of star dust. So when stars release energy or they have a supernova explosion, you do the same thing. When you sneeze and when you have an orgasm, that's a supernova explosion. Okay? So when that happens, this is why how also, and we'll get into that soon, how the sacral is connected to the heart as well. Everything, basically all your chakras are connected to the heart. They're all connected to the heart space. Remember, the same nearly, okay? Excuse me. So think about that. So hold on to that thought so we could get more into it. So the sacral is all about creativity. It's all about your sexual energies. It's let me see. This way I don't go off track and I know exactly what I'm talking about here. I don't want to go ahead and give any misinformation. I know sometimes just there's it's right here. Shit, right, it's right here. You know what I'm saying? Although all this stuff I know, but still, I want to make sure I'm on point. So yeah, my shirt, it looks wrinkled. But how I look, my best day or my worst day, I'm still my greatest. You know what I'm saying? So the sacral, it deals with the pleasure. It deals with the creativity. It deals also with your feelings. Okay. It also deals with maintaining healthy relationships, connecting to your emotional aspects of sexuality in the ways that sustain you. Okay. So if you think about this, relationship is not only just your peers or your spouse. Relationship has to do with everything, with energy, currency, money, relationships with nature. That's that that's where the sacral comes in because it helps you build relationships. Okay. So not only that, but you think about this, each zodiac sign, and I'm actually gonna cover that soon too. How the zodiac signs correspond with your chakra. We all possess our own power chakra. Like for instance, I possess the solar, right? Because it's an element of fire, and the cancers also have their own chakra, right? So the sacral is considered to be the element of water. And I'm going to get into that right now. So certain chakras, but us, we also do too, right? So the sacral is also governed by Tahuti. Dot. Okay? It's also governed by him. I notice my connection keep going and going and coming. I don't know why, but it does. So there I am. Am I back? Yes, I'm back. Okay. I don't know what's going on. It's probably my computer. So the sacral is governed by Tahuti, which will make a lot of sense, right? How it's all the thought process of creativity. And Saturday, how the imagination is linked to your mind's eye. Okay. But it's also linked to what? Your inner child. And where does that inner child come from? It comes from the heart space, your inner child. Remember, when we were younger, we're pure of innocence. Okay, so that means we're also see children at a young age. They're talking to someone. We think it's an imaginative friend, but it's not. They're really tapped in. They're really talking to spirit. They're talking to their guardians. They're talking to their protectors, right? So we think our child is just crazy and so forth because they're sitting there talking to an imaginary person. You get what I'm saying? But they're it's not crazy. They really are talking to somebody. You get what I'm saying? So when you think about the whole thought process, like energies, right? Your sacral, which pretty much where all that creativity is coming from. You can remember the child is pure of innocence already. We are the ones as adults we have to tap into basically back into that heart space of the inner child to be able to connect with that imagination. Children are natural. They could imagine shit naturally, right? Because of the simple fact they're still pure, you know? So since the cancer it's a hoodie governor, think about the cancer. Not only they're the element of water, but they're also the balance. The balance. What do you think? Put it like this, and this is crazy. No, well, really not so crazy, but why do you think one of the favorite positions that everybody likes during sex is the 69? Is the 69? You get what I'm saying? Why? Why is that? You get what I'm saying? So the 69 is all about balance of the yin and the yang, the darkness and the light. Not only that, now, there's a reason why also that the cancer is a water sign because it purifies as well. It eliminates negativity. It gets rid of the negative energies. This is why we take baths. This is why we take spiritual baths. Yeah, you take a bath to smell clean, right? The body needs that, but the body also needs to be able to get rid of the energies, which is why you take a spiritual bath because the water purifies. It gets rid of the negative stigma energy, the negative bullshit, right? It just gets rid of it. So cancer are also very insensitive. They're tapped in with their psychic abilities. You know, my screen, but I don't have it. And I wasn't trying to do a pre-recording. I really just wanted to go live and get it done, and boom, you know. So here, give me a second here. Let me go ahead and make sure that I. Mm, 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 mm. Trying to. So, so the cancers are very emotional, sensitive beings, right? They love from the heart. They know about the balance of family and home, which is very important to have that. Not only that, that they're the balance of the energies of darkness and light, but they're also the balance of the moon and the sun. Okay, Tahuti is considered to be the god of the moon, which is why he's also the creator. Why it would make sense that he's the creator of magic. He why the god of the moon because nearly all magic is used on the energies of the different phases of the moon. You get what I'm saying? So if you tap into those energies of the moon, and depending what kind of work you're doing, it pretty much gives that spell more energy because of the phases of the moon. Most practitioners in magic, they use the phases of the moon a lot, and I myself personally, I do the same. So, which would make sense too, why Cancer governors that chakra, because their connection to the moon and to the sun. You feel what I'm saying? So it would make a lot of sense why the Cancer, being a very insensitive sign, this is why they call them moonchilds, because of how potent and power, how much power does the moon has, especially in different cycles of the moon. Especially like during the lunar eclipse and stuff like that. You see, just like seasons have 4 cycles, the moon also have 4 cycles. Very interesting. It's the four. So and not only that, well, it says here that the Cancer sign is considered to be, I believe it said, the fourth sign of the zodiac. Yes, the zodiac. You see how it just all just comes together. It all comes together, right? So now the color of that chakra, the sacral, is orange. It is orange, right? Now let's go into the solar, okay, which is one eye governor. So the solar plexus is considered to be the element of fire. It's also your solar sun system within. Remember, I said as within as without. So the solar is also how you know more of your. It's the center of knowing who you are, and it's also knowing your self worth. Okay, it's the personal power. It's the personal power of who you are. It's also in touch of your inner warrior, your spiritual warrior. You get what I'm saying? So the one that also governs solar is Ra. No coincidence it'll be Ra, because since the solar plexus is considered to be your your second brain, it's also your gifts, right? So since Ra governs that solar, which why it makes a lot of sense how you're part of the sun. You get what I'm saying? So like here in Chicago, like I don't get sun all the time, but I know I'm still part of the sun because I have the energies within. You feel what I'm saying? Connected to the sun as well, being a sun. You get what I'm saying? Being one of the signs of the sun, right? Which is the Aries, the Ram. How, there's no coincidence how we also govern that solar. Regardless, you don't have to be following and chasing the sun or the moon around. You're part of that exists around you. Just like I said with the Cancer, how the Cancer is all about balance. You get what I mean? And not only that, if you think about the numbers of the sacral is 2, right? And what are we in right now? We're in a time of changes. When you look at the numbers 2021, 2021, it makes 5. Okay? Not only that, it makes 5, but in the allegory, not the allegory calendar, I'm sorry, what was that? The Ethiopian calendar, It's actually we're in the time of also I want to six to make the seven, and then you connect it to your higher self and to your inner wisdom of who you are, the knowledge. Okay, and the seven is also the number of the seeker, the seeker. Okay, this is why it's important to know these numbers and how much they're connected to you internally and inside you, how you're connected to everything around you, especially the numbers. So if the 62 and 62 make seven, and regardless of how we see the 2012, because that's the year we're in, it still makes the five, master of change, which we're going through right now, changes. And how the hell is it that if we're not connected to the changes, how can we really hear outside of you the politics and these events happening because they're trying to stir you away from yourself. They want to get you disconnected to yourself so this way you're not tapped in to yourself. So when you're tapped into yourself, you're able to navigate differently through this theater where you're able to co-create, right? Because look how you're connected to the energies around you and above you, right? Look how you're connected to those energies. So the solar is your third, and it's no coincidence that it's the third because look at how important number three is. Three is a magical number. Not only the three is a magical number, but it's also the union. Okay. Not only that, the sacral plexus. Going back to the sacral, how it's number two. You see how one meets one. One plus one is equal to, right? That's also right. Now, if you think about this too, since the hoodie is also considered the right hand man of Ra, these are the ancient gods. Okay, these are the original gods. So when you think about how Tahuti governors the sacral, right? He also partakes in that solar. Okay, so he's like the the merge of who we are. He helps us merge to who we are. It's getting hot in here. You know what I'm saying? So not only it becomes a merge, you become the Ra and the Tahuti, right? But you merge with these energies, especially when you're using when you start understanding the importance of the sacral and how important it is to really to use the energies of creativity. Remember, creativity starts with imagination. If there is no imagination, there is no creativity. Therefore, if you're lacking imagination, you're basically lacking creativity. So, especially if you're stuck in those programs of fear, the low vibration energies, and looking at the the theater of the polytricks, you fall in line with that narrator, right? You're stuck within those energies of not able to tap into who you are. You get what I'm saying? Like I said many times, if you can't tap out, tap. I mean, if you can't tap in, you tap out. You got to tap out to tap in. You get what I mean? So it's very important to know that. So going back to the whole solar, how the solar is basically it goes hand in hand with Ra and Da, Ra and Tahuti, right? Because these are the how everything is magic. When you think about thought magic, where is it coming from? It's coming from Tahuti. You get what I'm saying? So if you think about this too, and I don't want to go too much into that because Tahuti is also considered to be the Cristo. So if you think about this too, so if Christ is reborn, if you're actually the reborn again Christ, because there is no Christ outside of you, the Christ is within. Why do you think you have the Christ consciousness? Okay, that's also the seventh chakra, right? Remember, was the attack to the Christ consciousness. Why do you think they call it the corona? The corona is Latin for crown. Okay, so when you start looking at that and you look at, okay, well, these are the powers that I have within myself because these are my solar energies, my force. What they say in Star Wars, may the force be with you, right? So when you do look at the whole go back to ancient Kemet, go back to ancient Egypt, how these deities, what the energies they possess, how they flow still, even in this time. Like the Amics, look, the Amics is an ancient civilization that also created that Mayan calendar. You get what I'm saying? Remember what they said about 2012, that it was supposed to be the end of a world and the beginning of a new one. You see, the world doesn't end. What ends? Consciousness. It evolves. Systems fail. Old systems are being destroyed, so new ones to start. And all these old systems that keep humanity in shackles. You get what I'm saying? So we're also using the Kali energy to get rid of the ego, the death of the ego. The only way that the Christ to be reborn again, which is Tahuti, which is why he also governs the solar with Ra. Remember, Tahuti is considered to be the right hand man of Ra, the sun god. Okay, to worship these energies. We are here to become these energies. Remember, you're the goddess and God incarnated. Remember, this is why they say how you are the Christ incarnated. Christ. You know what I mean? But how does that happen? You have to start to Jesus outside of you. And many times I've said this too. Jesus that you think that is a savior is really your devil. That's trying to keep you stuck in that beast body where you're never able to evolve and get out of that beast body to find your beauty. Okay? Of that you think that's evil. Like for instance, when you look at Baphomet, we consider him to be evil, right? But this is an image of power. And how they say Baphomet is Satan. Satan is not Baffy. Baphomet is just its own energy. But the only reason why we look at this to think that this is the devil, because that's the image they put out there. That's the description they gave you to keep you afraid of this. And this is power. And this is considered also liberation. Liberates you from the shackles of that prison mindset. So when we look at these energies, as I said, to serve them, to go ahead and worship them, we're here to become them. That's their thing too. Remember, they live through us, just like our ancestors. You feel what I'm saying? We are these ancestors. We are these energies that we so much want to follow and chase around. Like remember, you don't have to be chasing around the stars or the sun or the moon because you are the sun, the stars, and the moon. So when you think about, again, like I said, how Cristo Tahuti is the Christ, right? Because Tahuti is also the ancient god of wisdom and knowledge and magic. Come on, think about this. And a lot of people don't catch on to this. And I did a lecture on this before. How I did put out how Jesus was Tahuti. How Jesus was also a magician. If he was able to turn water into wine, that is magic. If he's able to, I mean, that's alchemy, right? That's alchemy. If he's able to walk in water, what is that? That's magic. If he's able to heal the blind, that's magic. You know what I'm saying? All that is magic. That's all signs of what? A fucking. Just going back to that, knowing that how magic resides in you, especially because you're part of all the elements. It's five. Okay? So when you start really tapping into you start understanding these chakras, you start to understand more your science and how it's important to know what, especially what I said earlier, how each of us and that zodiac, the zodiac sign, we govern a certain chakra, the solar. And you think about, say, think about this too. We're in the age of Aquarius. That's the element of air. Okay, so that's the element of air, and that's also the heart chakra. Okay, remember, you have to come from the heart space. You have to come from the heart space. Okay, you gotta come from the heart space. You gotta come from that place of direction. You gotta have that compassion. You know what I'm saying? In order to be full of compassion, you gotta have the connection to mother, to mama. She fools your heart with that love and that compassion. Okay, which is why it's very important to know your connection to mama. A lot of us are very disconnected to mama because of the belief system outside of us. You know, the the tricks. Okay, those are all tricks to keep you stuck, right? So since the heart is connected to the earth, it's the element of air. Remember, the breath, the breath gets life to that fire, right? The breath gets life to the fire. It blows more oxygen. Remember, you are carbon based. You are also you're charcoal. Which charcoal needs to be lit? Charcoal needs fire to be lit. You feel what I'm saying? Remember how the colors of the sun is yellow, orange, and red. What is the red? Is your roots. The root is also considered to be your foundation, your grounding, the connection to the earth. Okay? The red is also the color of what? The devil, right? It's the devil. Okay? So when the chakra, especially when it's in harmony, when it's balanced, you think about the connection to nature. You how does how why is it important to be connected to nature? Because nature grounds you. It gives you a sense of grounding. Okay? It's important to also to trust in the natural laws. Okay? You move through this gracefully with the flow of life. When you go back to the flow of life, you think also about the flower of life. Okay? It's the flower of life, which will make sense that it would be considered to be the flow of life because you look at the flower of life. Remember what I say about consciousness. Consciousness is inward. It's a spiral. It's a spiral. Okay? So when you come from this place of understanding who you are with this roots, it provides you a sense of higher consciousness. It also gives you a better way of being maintaining a healthy lifestyle, right? Because remember, what is the root considered too? The root is part of the ego. It's part of the body. It's part of the beast body. Remember, the beast body is also considered to be the animal. Okay, So a lot of us get stuck in this root chakra. We find ourselves very disconnected from everything else because we are also depending on the system, different systems outside of us, that matrix system. And then you stuck in that ego because you're stuck in survival mode, which is your direction, and then you lose a sense of mother, which is your compassion. You feel what I'm saying? So you're more stuck in that beast body. Of course, if you're stuck in that beast body, your kundalini will never rise up, for one, especially if you disconnect you from self. But you miss the whole point of this life. Because remember, we are here to do what with it? To create. We're co-creators. What do co-creators do? They create. They create. Especially right now, we look at the changes that we're experiencing right now. How this is the time where things are changing rapidly. You see it, especially if you look at the news, right? If you're one of those type of people that just want to be on the TV, you see what's happening out there. There's a lot of shit that's been popping off, and it's sad because it's only gonna get worse. But just because you see a lot of shit popping off out there, it doesn't have to be your reality. Because if anything, if you're able to co-create and create using the energies you have within, that right there becomes more of an illusion, because that's what it really is. It's an illusion to keep you stuck in where? That beast body, to keep you stuck in that root. You see, instead of the devil could either trap you or it could liberate you. You gotta understand the difference. Like the Lucifer, why you think they call him the Lucifer? He's the light bearer, he's the light bringer, he's the what? That is within. That Christ within. You see, the Christ is G. We're talking about energies here. Energies don't have uh, a certain sex. It's energy. Okay? It's just energy. When you start to others are, especially if they are connected, from their imagination, the connection to the inner child of who you are. And a lot of us are disconnected to that inner child because we haven't made peace with certain things in our lives that took place as a child. We don't let go of that. We carry that on as baggage, luggage, and it's like it just makes the shoulders heavy. It makes your spirit heavy. It's why it's always important to know that you have to be light as the feather. So when you're light as the feather, you let go of all that doesn't longer serve you. You grateful. You be grateful because the many times our when we go through some very bad trauma as a child, that's for a purpose, because it's for now. That gives you the strength. It gives you your purpose. You get what I'm saying? It helps you grow. You're not supposed to look at that as it being that it just fucked you up. You're supposed to grow from that and make peace with it. Many times, especially light workers that really are in their work, a lot of them go through some really fucked up situations, near death experiences, or they hit rock bottom really bad, and that's when they find themselves. You get what I'm saying? So you got to think about how these experiences that trap you are not to trap you, but to help you grow. You have to change the mindset. You change the perspective of it. When you are able to change that perspective of those lessons of the trauma that you endured, wasn't supposed to trap you. It's to help you become more of who you are, who you need to become when you merge those kind of energies. You get what I'm saying? Just like for instance, when something bad happens to you, isn't that like when you're going through your darkest times of your life? You get what I mean? That's that energy of power, the darkness. You can't have one without the other. One thing about the cancer, it's you think, right? Because doesn't it take one to recognize the other to make it two? You get what I'm saying? So when you understand that concept, you have to make everything one. You got to go back to the one. This is like the root chakra. Why you think is the first chakra? You got to go back to the depth of the ego to be reborn again as what? The Christ. You get what I'm saying? So this is why this is important right now, the time we're in, because we're dealing with all these different energies. Remember, the five is the master number five of changes. Where we at right now, the Kali Yuga, right? Kali is doing what? She's showing up and having people deal with the shadows that they seem so uncomfortable to deal with. Those those energies that they suppress because they don't want to let go of it, they seem stuck, right? They lose all connection with mother, with self, with their inner child. Like I said during my last lecture, how the other day I had a dream and I wasn't you know what, it wasn't even a dream. It was right in front of me. Two orbs, the black and the white. I looked at them, I knew what they were, and I just grabbed them and I put them inside me. Now we're one, right? Remember, there's nothing outside of you. Okay? You are everything of these energies that are outside of you. You merge them together to become complete. One thing about for sure is that a lot of us are so how can I say this, so separated. We're very separated from our mind, body, and spirit. This is why outside of you there's so much division. Remember how their motto too is to divide and to conquer the masses, to keep them separated. Why you think we're in lockdown? Why you think it's called social distancing? Because what are they doing? They're separating you from each other for a purpose. Because if you're separated outside of you, that means you're more separated inside of you. You got all types of separation. Why you think you see the politics? Why you think you see the theater? Why you think you see the COVID for what it is? Like I said too, what I say about the COVID, I said that the COVID was my blessing, not my urge more into me. To no longer have separation of myself, to merge, to come together as one. So it's very important to know your chakras for one. To study your chakras, to study your science of who you are, to study your zodiac signs is very important to know your astrology. Shit, going back to your your creativity, going back to the inner child that needs the healing. A lot of us are damaged. We're considered damaged goods because of the fact that we can't let go of shit. In order to change that, you have to let go of the shit to make a shift. Here, seven levels of consciousness and seven levels of awareness. And what is the seven and seven? Isn't that 14? Yeah. What is one and four? It is five. Five. The number five again. Always popping up. Always popping up. You get so going back to the whole inner child, the heart. Remember, you gotta be light as a feather. Standing over a deceased king with her foot on his heart because she wanted to make sure that he let go of all that baggage, of all that guilt. So when he makes it a transition, he's light as a feather. You feel what I'm saying? And in instance, this is what's going on right now. She wants you to be light as a feather to be able to make that transition in consciousness, from going from 3D to 5D, to be able to be already on that new earth where we already at. You see, it's not all physical. It has to happen mental for it to be physical outside of you. You get what I'm saying? But how is that happening if there is this connection of self? So the heart chakra is mama bear, fools you with love. Love. Fire to burn that Lucifer so you can rise up and be resurrected or reborn. But what has to happen? There has to be the death of the ego, let go of the shadow. 4 and 3 makes what? 7. 7. The 7 is also considered to be the corona, which is why, like I said many times, how we have that virus. It's put it like this, folks. You're really the virus. You're the virus to this matrix system, which is why they created a virus to stop you. When you start to realize that, you know that you're full of divine. You're full of divine light. You're full of pure power. Which is why they try so hard to dim your light and disconnect you from your power, your true self. Remember, you're not just that avatar. Okay? So when you look up at the crown, it's the knowledge of unity. Okay? It's understanding the individual reflections of the divine, right? It's understanding that you are that divine source. Okay? How you're connected to divine, understanding that you're not only in the spiritual sense of that divine, but you're also in that physical form of that divine. Okay? It's also where you elevate, it helps you elevate your consciousness. Isn't that what we're doing now? How we are evolving. When you look at the word love, it's also evolve. Okay? Isn't that what's happening right now? Doesn't fear keep you on a low vibration? Keeps you stuck. But what does love do? Love is a liberator. I mean, don't get me wrong, they use love too to keep you trapped because they can use love against you. But if you know the difference when you from your heart space and you're being guided by love, it's more of a divine. It's where you go. You know what I'm saying? It's how you lead as well. So the Corona chakra is also, like I said, it's your Christ consciousness, it's your higher consciousness, it's your higher self. It's the connection to the heavens, right? So put it like this, and this is crazy because this is what this says right here. So when you feel depressed, alone, unsatisfied with life, and unable to let go of anxiety and fear, you lose the connection to the to the source and the universe, to the goddess and God of self. Which is why they like the fear program, the fear mongering, because it disconnects you from your higher self. It keeps you in the lower self of what? In that animal state of mind. Okay? And that beast body. This is why they like these the whole sense of anxiety, fear, stress, hate, division, separation, and all this other shit, because this what keeps the body stuck. It keeps the mind trapped. Remember, you create a prison in your mind with the programs that you install into your mind. Download stuff into your phone or into your computer. What are you doing? You're putting stuff into that memory and that RAM. Remember what I said? How RAM is random access memory. You get what I mean? So it just pretty much keeps one stuck. All these different programs of low vibration, low energy. And also think about this too, how you have a crown. You have a spiritual crown. Why do you think they want to stop you from having that spiritual crown, and why they want to come for yours? Remember what I said about the inorganic ones and these elites? They don't have the connection to the heavens. They don't have the connection to their higher self. They don't have the connection to that corona. Why do you think they want us to take yours? Remember what I said, how you have to, in order to have the connection to mother and the corona, yeah, you can have an open mind's eye, but if your heart is evil, so is your eye, that means you lose connections of the seventh and of the fourth, the direction. Okay? So Ra also governs the corona. He governs that crown, which is why they say it's important for you to go outside when the sun is out to sun glaze, because he feeds that. You get information from the sun. And also, remember, the darker the melanin, the more powerful you are. Okay? So melanin is very important. But what is also melanin? Isn't melanin the 666? That's carbon. So your melanin is connected to your roots. Okay, your melanin is also connected to your roots. Because remember, the root god is the throat chakra, the element of sound. Excuse me. The mind's eye. Okay. What was the mind's eye the element of again? I don't remember. Let's see. The light, sound light. Okay. The mind's eye is the element of light. Remember, what is white? What is the sun color in space? Is white. Is white what? White light. White light. This is why when you if you go ahead and look at paintings from ancient Kemet, how when they would sun glaze, you have them literally looking up with their mind's eye, and the sun is feeding them with the rays, the ultra rays of light, feeding the corona. You get what I'm saying? So, no coincidence, called the element of light. And it will make sense, right? What is the mind's eye? It's sight. Sight, light. And what are the colors? They are bright. Damn. All right. So now, the corona is also the element of thought. Wow. So Turi also governs the corona chakra, the element of thought. Would make sense because how it's connected directly to the sacral. Sacral. Which is why your body is full of water. 75% of water. And the zodiac sign that governs that sacral is Cancer, the water sign. Creativity comes from thought, the thought process, imagination. See, the root is the element of earth, which will make sense because it's all about grounding with the earth. And it makes sense too how the hurt the heart to burn your charcoal, to burn that charcoal. See, these three chakras on top, they're called the rule of God, right? That's why it's three. And in the bottom ones are the four. You gotta think about too the four cycles of seasons. And think about the four programs that keep the beast body in lockdown. Education, entertainment, religion, and politics are the four they keep you stuck in your roots. Very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. Taking me some olive leaf and some passion flower. Yeah, it's very important to know also your teas. You know your teas. Give elixirs. We're entering a time where sooner or later, if everything's gonna fail and fall, that means medical is also gonna be it's gonna fail and fall, right? So get familiar with your herbs. Get familiar if you're here in the work. Elixirs help. You gotta remove metals from your body. You gotta remove you gotta declassify your pineal gland. Remember, your pineal gland is connected to your mind's eye and to your corona. You know, why do you think they do so much by poisoning the water, giving you fluoride, putting fluoride in your toothpaste? Because they figure they know how strong and powerful you are, especially if you know science. They figure if they don't poison you, they can't stop you. But either or, if you have knowledge of that of the devil, think about that. Why is that? Because it's coming from the roots. You're Lucifer. You know what I'm saying? So very important to know your science, to know that there's nothing out there that that's not you. You get what I mean? Everything that you chase is all within. You are that devil, you are that God. Okay? There's nothing outside of you that you need to be worshiping. You worship yourself. If that makes sense. Get what I mean? That's the time we're in now. And that's why we have the Kali. Why do you think put it like this? Like Kali, I remember how a few years ago they used Kali and they put her on the Empire State Building in New York because they're trying to use those energies of Kali. Why do you think that got Kali in front of CERN? A big statue of Kali in front of CERN. They want to manipulate those energies, also to keep you scared of those energies. While Kali is nothing but a liberator to help you get rid of your ego and your shadow self. She's your eye opener. Remember what divine feminine energy? How she represents that strong fire energy, that strong energy, that feminine energy. You know, she represents that Kundalini energy. You know, yeah, it's always good to know your science because without knowing your science, you're stuck. The end game of that the potty tricks and all that shit. It's almost over. It's almost over. But of course, there's gonna be a lot of crazy shit happening out there. So be it. Let it happen. Don't make it that part of you. You're in a time where we can go create. We can create things. We don't have to make that our reality. We switch that reality around. You know about astral traveling and the mind's eye and stuff like that. They're straight up telling you because I'm telling you, those energies are making their energies are here and they're supporting us now. It's like everything's coming back to us. People are starting to be more aware of who they are. Look what the CIA did. You get what I'm saying? Their hand was forced. They forced their hand. You know, the energies ain't playing. The energies ain't playing no more. This is like the greatest time to be alive. This is the greatest time to really be alive and tapped in. You get what I'm saying? Well, yeah. Let's see what else do I got. See what else comes in. That's it. Yeah, I tell you, I wasn't able to sleep this morning. I was like, fuck, man. I was telling my girl, "Damn, babe, I got a whole lecture going on in my motherfucking head, man. This is crazy." It's like, I was like, all right, man, can we stop? Can we stop the chatter? I need to sleep. Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up about the chakras, man. It was important. You know how those chakras are connected to the sun and why you have the solar system within, and how everything is connected. Everything is connected, and everything's connected to you. The more you understand that, man, the more you have more control of your life. You know what I'm saying? The more you control of your magic, magic's inside you. It's really messed up to be denying that magic because of programs outside of you. Say it's scary. Don't do that. It's evil, but they do it to keep you in a fucking spell. To keep you stuck in that body. You're not just that body. If you really think you're just that body, you need a reality check. Bad, because you're not just that body. Remember, your spirit. Excuse me. And a lot of us have a powerful spirit. Man, this stuff is giving me the gases. A lot of us have a powerful spirit, man. Like I said, there's different souls. You got ancients, you got old souls, and you got the baby souls. Those are the new ones that hold on to the matrix system. You know what I mean? But that's how it is. So let me get off. You just have a good night. Peace, love, light.